this and see if I can capture both of you. There we go. There we go. So we'll do that. Alright. So we kind of like eye contact was one of the first ones. So we recognition, eye contact. Being able to do something.
Yep, quiet.
Yep, quiet. Thank you. And this time I'm not going to pay her because she made a mistake. So then I wait for her to maintain it. And then there. Yep, quiet. Yes. So if she maintains it, then I'll pay it. But eye contact is name her name. So I'd work on that. And then I'd work on sits. We can do quiet, just in case, because she's youngish too. But she's a dog, so it might come out sometimes. But if you need it, then we have quiet. And recall, so come when called. How well does she come when called right now? Like when you call her, did you really tell her to giddy come or?
Bennie,
I saw that. So
she's gotten me.
Okay.
So if
could use some improvement probably, or
if what?
could use some improvement. Or could
Oh
use
yeah,
improvement.
definitely.
Okay.
No.
Or is she like really good? Like if she's really good, then we'll skip that one.
No.
Okay. So still learning that one.
I mean, she just needs. She does, you know. I don't know. We've been working on her healing.
Okay.
To walk with, but she's just she's got so much energy.
Okay.
Sometimes she's just
great.
Go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and she's a big boy too. Because she's so new, I'm not going to necessarily take her away from you to demo her, but I am going to steal Bennie then for just a second and show you then for loose leash walking what I would do differently. Because she's only been with me 2 days, so I do when they're out of town, they're on vacation. But I watch the dogs sometimes, so we do training. But I'm going to take Bennie for just a second. Good. And if I'm going to work the dog, meaning I want her to learn how to control herself, right, not pull, then I do not move unless she's loose leash. And that becomes that instead of thinking you have to walk her for 40 minutes, I go, I just want to walk her nicely for a sidewalk square or 2 sidewalk squares, which means I don't go for pleasure walks, long walks, until she's really walking nice. I just stay in front of the house, or I stay in the yard, or I stay in the house until she's doing it well. And then I'll add a house at a time and come back, and another house the other direction and come back, maybe then 2 houses and come back. So I make it boring in many ways, but to teach her how to do it, and she will earn more and more freedom as she actually walks nicer and nicer. So we get her in the habit of walking loose leash, and then she earns more and more freedom as long as she stays loose leash. And instead of thinking, again, I try to help my students say, instead of going like, I need to go 3 blocks and come back to wear her out, if you're doing mental activity, you're going to wear her out a lot faster, and you're going to be teaching her how to walk nicely. Settle, yes. He's like, I'm just going to lay here then. You're talking about working, man. That's tiring. But even this, just control yourself, settle, yes. Good girl. And so for Bennie, let's go, yes. I'm going to start with even just a step at a time. Yes. And I want you to kind of focus on what does the leash look like when you hear me say yes? What does the dog kind of look like when you hear me say yes? If I'm walking this way, yes. I missed it. Sometimes you miss it. There you go. Let's go. Yes. So instead of pulling that way, we go back this way. Yes. She's like, there's just a room. Where are we going? There we go. So here's my food back out to help her. We're going to go this way. We're going to go this way. Yes. And she's going to start going, whoa, if I just stay next to you and I don't feel the leash, I get paid. If she pulls, she never gets to go forward. Whoops. If you, yeah, she won't go forward. She's like, hey, I want to do that too. Yes, that was beautiful, Sid. But all I want to teach her is that it's a couple steps at a time, and I am guessing 1,000 times throughout that period. Which means instead of treats, I use their food. So for dinner, instead of pouring her, I'm guessing a 3/4 cup or half a cup or so. Is that about right? Yeah. So how many pieces of kibble in a half a cup do you think? Probably 50 to 100. So now you have 50 to 100 guesses that you can teach her how to walk nicely with. Does she usually eat her food pretty fast, or does she kind of, is she more yes? She's more delicate with it. Okay, so then she's food motivated. And that means, again, instead of like putting it in a dish, I call it learn to earn. Put it in your pocket, put it in a bake bag. Can you show her a couple bake bags? Like I have it basically just attaches, so I put it all there, because then I can just go, let's go. Yes. And pay. Let's go. Whoop. You're not hungry anymore? Let's go. Yes. Let's go. Yes. You're like, oh, cool. Let's go. Yes. And then I start to vary how many steps I go. So if she pulls, I stop. I don't ever go forward. And I help her come back to me, but then I don't pay her for that. So again, I won't pull her back, but I'll help her come back to me. Yes. When she controls herself and she has a loose leash, she gets yes and pay. But instead of dragging her back and me doing the work, I help her come back, but I'm not going to pay her for it. We're going to go back. She's like, I want to be against the wall. Let's go. Whoops, wrong side. This way. Good girl. Let's go. Yes. And she's like, okay, seriously, we've gone in circles. Kind of makes sense. So do you want to practice with her a little bit right here? Here, maybe if you want to step there for a little bit. Let's go. Up, 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 up. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, she's slowly starting to get.
Yeah, well, she might have to go potty. I don't know if you brought her, if she went potty before coming. She might actually have to pee. So do you want to take her out and kind of pee real quick? I will, yeah. Then go get a drink. We'll give her a little mental break. And then you can try to bring her back in. And if she's not, we'll put her back out. Okay. But we'll try. You're not going.